How many times have you been stood on the driving range or on your golf course and you see these guys and they're hitting it like miles with what looks like an effortless golf swing? Meanwhile, you're trying your absolute hardest and your heart out to gain some extra yards and you're not getting anything. How do they make it look so easy? What is the secret ingredient to that effortless motion? In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what they're doing. Now, take a look at this and you tell me whether this swing looks effortless or looks like I'm really trying. Watch this. Get myself set up here, nice and wind up. Does that look effortless to you? Let's see how far it goes. 290 yards, super simple, nice and straight. Doesn't look like I'm trying too hard, right? And we've almost got up to 300 yards. I'm putting in something that makes this look easy. I'm going to share with you what that is in this week's video. Before I do though, look, if you're new to the channel, for your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. At least videos just like this one every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, as always, you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in the description box below. So there are two ingredients to helping you achieve that effortless swing. The swing where by the time you finish, you're smashing those drives on the golf course and your mates are going, how are you making it look so easy? That's when you know you're winning. Now there's two numbers that I'm going to focus on. Club head speed and spin loft. Now clearly the best players in the world have high club head speed. I'm going to show you things that you can do to increase it. But way before that, you can increase the distance you hit all of your shots effortlessly by changing this number here called spin loft. What is spin loft? It is a really, really important thing to understand. Spin loft is basically the difference between the angle of attack that your club is traveling on and the loft of your club. If that number is high, you're not going to hit it very far, even if you have a monster amount of club head speed. So if you slice the golf ball or hook the golf ball, I guarantee your spin loft is going to be super, super high. What do I mean by that? Well, look at this. If your club travels level to the ground like this, and the loft is there, this is your spin loft. Really narrow, right? But what I see with a lot of slicers, the club is chopping down on the golf ball, the face is open. So now look, the face is opening up over here, the loft is coming down here. What does that create? A really wide open spin loft. This costs you massively. So let's deal with that first. It's really simple to do. Let's deal with that first. Then we'll look at how you naturally and effortlessly increase your speed. So, first ingredient. So I gave this to my dad recently who had a big slice on his driver. Let me show you something. So watch this. He's aiming left to target. He's trying to avoid a slice. And this is ultimately what he's creating. Watch this. So watch this spin loft. Look at that spin loft number. Still 103 miles an hour, look. 26, the distance immediately drops, look, to 204 yards simply because I've increased my spin loft, right? Now what I'm going to do now is we're going to reduce that number with unbelievable ease. We get ourselves set up here. Now all I did with my dad was this. His entire body here, the face was close to the target, everything, look, is behind the golf ball here. When the handle's too far behind, when the hips, this trail hip gets a bit too high here, the shoulders get a bit up, and these are factors that generally, if you slice it, you're probably doing. Now when you do this, you create a circle that basically comes across the ball. So you're coming down and across it, that's the downward angle. Add that here through impact with an open face to path, you're adding loft, and you create this horrible slice and a massive loss of distance. All I want you to do is with driver setup, get the ball opposite your lead heel. Then look at this. All I'm going to do now is look, I'm going to push the lead hip to feel like it's a little bit higher than the trail hip. I'm going to push the handle a little bit forward, right? Now what's this doing? Now suddenly look, as I push that handle a little bit forward, that is almost de-lofting the club just a little bit. It's also creating a circle now where the club is, rather than going to be coming down and across, is now going to come in much, much more level to the golf ball. So rather than chopping down, I'm now getting this angle that we need, right? Now we've got the angle, we've also got, look, the loft. They're balancing out. There's nothing more complicated than that. So I'm moving that hip forward, I'm moving my shoulders forward here to balance the whole thing out and really reduce that spin loft. So from here, we're not going to add any speed yet. I'm just going to do a nice smooth swing with a driver, with handle forward, lead hip slightly higher, turn it around here, so the shoulders, everything, the forearms are all level, and away we go. So again, I didn't hit that hard, nice and smooth. Watch this spin loft look. Similar, look at almost exactly the same speed as before. Lowered the spin loft. We've just added, how much of that? 60 yards? Simply by changing the spin loft, but keeping the club head speed exactly the same. So that's 60 yards. So with no extra effort, that's how you start to add distance to your driver. Now the second ingredient now comes into the actual swing itself. So we've got yourself set up here, you've practiced this motion in. Now what you'll see with any great player is they have a natural ability to load their trail foot here. Now what they're doing is this. They're really, in a sense, loading into this right leg here. Some people will allow this left heel to come off the ground sometimes, okay? But they're loading in. When I say loading, they're not swaying onto the outside here. What they're doing is the weight is moving almost into the inside of my trail foot here. To make life easier, we even turn that trail foot outwards. All this is helping load that trail side. Why is that useful? Because look, I want to use that trail side to push off and help me move back to my target so I can then give it a good smash. Too many of you, right, if you're struggling with distance, you're staying too static over the golf ball like this, therefore you'll generate no natural momentum, your legs are going to be static and you're going to look like you're trying hard because it'll all be upper body, or you've been told you've got to transfer your weight and what you're doing is you're swaying off the ball and you're off balance. So the subtle difference is here, look, I am basically turning my trail foot out, I'm loading into that leg. I'm really feeling that. I feel like I'm almost this hip here is turning into this leg here. Watch this. No, that's not. I've fallen out. I'm turning into that leg. If I turn into that leg, I've really loaded that leg. I can use it to then give it a good smash, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, and this is the thing that made my dad chuckle and really gives you this effortless look. How much control of the golf ball do you have once it's gone? Nothing. So many people, particularly some of the senior golfers that I coach, they are often saying, Danny, I don't follow through very well. I don't really care how far you follow through. Some people don't have the flexibility to kind of follow through that far, right? But you do have the ability to do this. When you've loaded this here, imagine hitting the ball hard, right? Bang, there. Like you're snapping it, you're really beating it. With my dad, I use this analogy of when we were kids, you know, we used that, take our rug from the lounge, we'd hang it on the washing line and Dad would get a cricket bat and just beat the rug, like, and bang. Now he wouldn't be worried about following through, he would just beat it, right? Now that's a really great and simple image because all you're doing, once you've loaded this, I want you to put your maximum force right there into the back of that golf ball. Not to try and get through it. This is when it looks really hard work. I'm starting here, look. I've got myself set up, got my circle, I'm loading that right leg, and then I'm going to put a maximum force right there at the ball. So I'll start with this one shot here. See if we can increase that speed up naturally. So wind it up. Didn't strike that as well that time, but let's just see what happens to the shot. So 110 mile an hour worth of club head speed. I said I didn't strike it very well, still gone 273 yards. Spin loft now is below 15, which is exactly what you want for distance, right? That's because I've kind of got myself set up. I want that speed increasing. So how do I do this? Well, look, I'm going to try and load even more now into this kind of trail leg. But there's one other thing that really helps me put energy into the back of the golf ball. I picture a window to hit the golf ball through right in front of the ball, just like this, okay? Now, when I'm applying that force to the back of the golf ball, I'm not thinking about where the target is over there. I've already done that. I've already lined myself up to target. It doesn't matter where that is anymore. I know that if I can smack that ball through, and I visualize the ball going super fast through that window, I know that the ball's going to travel. I'm going to be somewhere close to my target. A lot of the time when people are lacking speed is because they're looking out there a lot and they're trying to hit a target that's out there. Lots of energy is wasted as opposed to applying that energy right where the ball is there, right? That's where what you've got control over. You don't have control over anything else, so it really helps. So not only are we loading this trail side here, I am going to smack that ball with a little window I'm picturing here, and I'm going to visualize that ball traveling super fast through it. So it doesn't just help with my speed, it helps with my accuracy too. So it should be a little bit faster. Yeah, look, 114 miles an hour, spin loft down now to 10, 306 yards in total. This is how you load power. Did that look effortless to you? Leave a message in the comments. So how do you start this? Make sure your spin loft's down. How do you do this? Well, look, if you're slicing it, you're basically coming across the line of the golf ball. Get set up so that we've got more energy going into the back of the golf ball. So the angle attack's not coming across, you're going straight in there. That's going to get your spin loft down. So without changing speed, you will hit it further as you saw me do on camera. Next thing, start to add power. How do we do this? Load that trail side. Really get it in. Don't let it go. Wind it into that trail side. Use that as an energy to really launch it from. And picture the window in front of you. Energy needs to be applied to the ball, not all the way through the shot, and trying to get those pretty finishes. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with a friend. And look, if you'd love to see this lesson I did with my dad live, check this video out right here. Free practice plan in the description box below, so you never have to remember a thing. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.